Mate, third podcast today. How you feeling?
Well, fourth, because we just had to start again.
No, we didn't, did we?
No, we didn't. No, let's keep the fourth wall where it belongs.
I didn't spot that. The fourth wall.
Third wall? No, fourth wall. Fifth wall? How many walls?
That's a TV thing, isn't it?
It's fourth wall, yeah.
Isn't it a TV thing?
Oh, it's an acoustic wall.
Acoustic wall?
Yeah. Can we do my joke?
You do joke, yeah.
So, in the pub, eating a lot of pub food.
Yeah.
A lot of Scotch eggs. What you get... This is really good. What you get when a Scotch egg hatches? A chicken McNugget. It's actually a good joke. Oh, thank you.
In the great kind of like spectrum of good jokes, it's probably not up there, is it?
I'm chuffed. I'm not going to say anything else for the whole podcast.
I've got better jokes, but I just can't tell them on a podcast. So it's been a long day, hasn't it? But we're nearly there. We're kind of working on it.
It's been a great day.
It's been a great day.
It is nice having a team joining in. No one's on their phone. Oh no! Oh yeah, people are listening.
Everyone's on their phones.
We got scared.
Yeah.
Lee Davis and Gwilym Roberts are the two IPs in a pod, and you are listening to a podcast on intellectual property, brought to you by the Chartered Institute of Patent Attorneys.
So it's been a bit of a celebration. We've got a big celebration to come, haven't we? Which we need to be properly prepared for. Which we will sort out between recordings.
Yeah.
But this is actually quite a big celebration because, as you will know, I was recently acknowledged as being the best chief executive in the country.
That has not come up on any podcast I've been involved in.
So, but in that same evening, we also were acknowledged for the work that we've done around developing a community of IP paralegals in our world, in the patent world. And, you know, so CIPA's gone from, I joined CIPA in 2012, February 2012, and at that time we had just short of 3,000 members. That was mainly our professional members and a big chunk of students. Now we're pushing our way towards 5,000 members, and over 10% of those are new IP paralegal members, which is amazing. You know, I think it's one of the great success stories is how we've taken what previously was our patent administrators group and given them a professional status, and work with them on qualifications and what membership looks like and what status looks like, change the bylaws so that they get a professional qualification. So I think that's really great. And it's brilliant, therefore, to have with us the chair of the IP Paralegal Committee, Annemarie Parsons. Hello, how are you?
Hello, very well, thank you.
It's great to have you on. We've met quite a lot recently, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, we're sober this time, which is good.
Well, you might be.
You didn't like that one, Gwilym, was that not
It's just not true.
It's just not true. It's not true. So tell us a bit about you and who you are and how you've come to be in this august position as chair of the IP Paralegal Committee.
Well, I should start off really with where I started in the IP profession because it was a bit of an accident.
Really?
And a lot of people don't realise that you don't actually have to have a degree to be a paralegal, which is something that I try and make sure people generally know, because it makes us have a wider pond, as it were, to go and get some paralegals out of to train them. It's on the job training. You don't have to go to uni to go and get a paralegal.
So what do you need? So to get through the door,
in my
what do you
opinion,
need?
I think you just need common sense. Common sense is probably the biggest thing you need, and then a good background of English. It helps to have maths, but you don't even really need to be able to type anymore because a lot of companies the attorneys will prepare specs, whereas in the old days the paralegals used to type them out, and a lot of standard letters now. So you don't really need to have full-on typing skills anymore.
So it's not a secretarial job?
No, well, it can be, but generally it's moved away from being secretarial now.
So do you think that in the main you're taking not away from, but from patent attorneys, those sort of initial aspects of the role that they do around patent administration?
Yeah. So all those everyday tasks that are repetitive, that are usually similar for most clients, that you can have one standard letter that covers everybody, then a paralegal can pick that up and send that out. It saves the attorney time, it makes it cheaper for the client, it makes it generally quicker as well for the client. So I just fell into it by accident. I went for a job in an accounts department, and they said, sorry, you're no good for this job, but we'll keep the details on file. And then I got a phone call to say, would you like to come and join us? And then gradually from there I've learnt the profession, which I did on the job, and through experience have gained more knowledge. I moved into a more senior paralegal role and passed on my knowledge to other people learning profession, which I think is a great thing to be able to do, is to pass on your knowledge. And then I moved to Murgitroyd,
Where you are now?
where I am now, and I became the deputy head of the paralegal department. And then very recently I was given the honour of being made a director
It's
in the
amazing,
company,
isn't it? It's
which is
so
fantastic.
amazing.
Yes, I'm-
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. I'm so proud, and I'm proud not just for myself, but just for the whole IP paralegal community,
Yeah.
because it shows other people in the company believe the value of their paralegals is. There's another lady who's a director who's a paralegal in our company as well, and I think that it's amazing that it shows the recognition of the value that the paralegals bring to directing the business.
And what I love, and so I've been working, I've been in CIPA for a long time now, and I think one of the things that I love is that when I first came to CIPA, we talked about patent administrators, formalities people.
Yeah.
Whereas you only use the word paralegal.
Yeah.
You just talk about paralegal.
Yeah.
So that's really important to you, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's it just goes to show the progression that's happened with paralegals. It's moved from being an administrative job to being actually recognised as a profession, a paralegal as a profession. I think that CIPA have helped in that by giving the paralegals the membership. It means that we're recognised in our own right as a profession.
Has it genuinely helped in terms of...
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
I got loads.
Go for it, mate.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So as a patent attorney, we all know who's the most important people in the business, and it's the paralegals, because you actually keep everything.
Well, when it comes to you,
else. Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Anyhow, I'll take anyhow. But maybe first of all, just for again, because we have a varied listenership.
Yeah.
So what are the kind of qualifications? What exams are you guys doing these days? Because they look quite tough.
So we have got some exams that you can currently take, and then there is another that is in progress, I should say. So the one that is offered by CIPA is the IPPC, which is the Introductory Paralegal Examination. That gives paralegals a foundation of UK law, PCT law, EP law. It covers a little bit about designs, and it covers a little bit about renewals as well. And that can give somebody the general knowledge as to how to be able to do a paralegal job. And it's a very well recognised qualification. We have people not only in the UK but across Europe that take it, and also, since it's gone virtual, across the world that take it as well. So it's a very...
Tell us a bit more about that. Where are we reaching out to?
Oh, you're going to ask me. I think that we've got some people in India and Australia, but I'd have to do some proper investigating on that if you really wanted to know.
It has to be one of the first global qualifications, or the first qualifications that the world can have access to. That's exciting.
Yeah, well, it's because since COVID, it's all gone online.
Yeah.
So everything is all accessible to students.
Yeah.
They can study in their own time with webinars, there's activities, and then the examination is all online as well. So that's a very well recognised qualification. Then there's also currently the European Patent Office are offering a certification that's only been available for the last couple of years, which is a lot more advanced. That's aimed purely at EP and PCT regulations, like I say, aimed at very advanced paralegals that are quite senior, that have been in the profession quite a long time. That's a certification rather than a qualification. I don't think that it's looked for at the moment by employers, because I think they're so new, but I think that it might be something that becomes the norm for paralegals to do.
So wouldn't it be lovely if we had in the pub with us someone who was responsible for making these qualifications happen? Dora!
Yes.
Oh,
Dora.
Come on over. Hello, Dora.
How have you found working with the IP paralegal community on kind of these qualifications?
Well, I was kind of told that I'm already an honorary paralegal, so
No, you still got to get qualified, obviously.
eventually I'm going to listen to all the materials. Eventually I'm going to know what everybody is talking about.
You do very well at knowing what we're talking about.
I just pretend. Take it to
Me too.
Who sets the exams then? Who's actually writing the
Oh,
exams?
good question.
So we have a very senior paralegal who works with an attorney who writes the exams.
And I should know this, and I don't. Is it one exam? Is it a series of exams? How does it work?
It's one exam for the IPPC, and it takes about 2.5 hours, usually in January. So our students at the moment are doing their course materials. Their European phase got released to them the other day, so they're all enjoying the delights of European patent applications at the moment. Yeah, so just one exam, and it's put out by the Patent Examination Board, so it's actually a proper examination, and then it's marked by CIPA.
Right, they've got a lot of candidates, don't we?
Yes, we've got, how many have we got this year, Dora?
So we have about 160 something.
Yeah, so it's a significant number.
Yes, it is.
It's up there with the levels of the amount of patent attorneys who qualify annually. Yeah.
It is, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's really important.
And so I remember hearing about the EPO exam, parallel exam. They weren't really, a little bit controversial. They weren't really engaging, were they, with us about what they needed to do?
The thing with the European exam is it is just an examination. There's no course materials. There is a syllabus, and there are slides available at the EPO that should provide all the information that you would need to pass the exam. The EPO have done some live events this year which have been a bit more helpful, but there isn't a course like the IPPC course where there are dedicated webinars. So, and even though it's an open book exam, the European exam, you still need to know your stuff. So it's very put on the student or the candidate to go off and do their own studying off their own back, rather than being given a load of webinars to follow.
Bit like how we train patent attorneys.
It is a bit. I think that you got the worst bit, because you get the labyrinthine kind of requirement of the UK Act, the EPC, whatever it might be. It's really complicated these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's so many little. I'm not going to lie. I get confused occasionally.
Of course you do.
Always. That's why we need such an amazing bunch of paralegals to actually know what we're doing. That's really key.
So tell us a little bit about the work of the committee, because it's not just all about qualifications, is it? You do so much more.
So I joined the committee about 5 years ago. Just
Was that by accident?
well, no, actually, it wasn't by accident. I was kind of coerced to go on there by a friend who was already on there.
No longer a friend, presumably.
No, actually, it's the vice chair now. I thought, this is a really good opportunity to get involved with some stuff. And the things that we get involved is making webinars for our paralegals so that they've got content for their continuing professional development. So we think up ideas and we try and find speakers and we think of the content we'd like the speakers to talk about, the webinars, and then we work with CIPA who put them on for us, which is great, and they advertise them for us. We obviously do stuff around examinations. We put on the conference every year.
So I just have to intervene there. You have the best conference.
Yes. I hate to say it, but yes,
recently,
we do.
wasn't it?
So Congress is great, but it really is just a bunch of patent attorneys coming together to talk about stuff. Whereas, you know how to party, don't you? You really know how to party.
Party legals.
Well, we just like to have fun in our conference.
You do.
We don't like it to be too stuffy. You know what it's like. You're our
I know
partner.
very much what it's like. Yeah.
Did he really sing when he came on?
Yeah. We were a bit disappointed he wasn't wearing his top hat this year.
I know. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
I didn't realise.
But I think that the people that go to the paralegal conference now almost expect a walk on. I think they'd be disappointed if they didn't get that.
Yeah.
But we tend to have quite interesting topics, and they're probably a little bit softer than patent attorney topics.
Yeah.
So probably just a little bit easier to.
So I quite like the mix of you get the kind of like the quite technical, detailed stuff, like the update from the EPO or the UK IPO on digital transformation and stuff like that, and then you get the stuff that's so much more probably relevant to people in their individual lives, such as with the stuff around Jonathan's voice and mental the bit that Andrew did about mental well-being,
Yeah.
which it just seems to make it a community, a bunch of people that are really trying to do stuff together.
Yeah, definitely. And we have our panel discussion, which it seems to have turned into a bit of a yearly event.
Oh,
where
the chair for the panel discussion this year was really good, wasn't he?
Oh, the chair. Yeah, he forgot his top hat though.
Yeah, I won't do that again.
But no, I mean, that's really nice because that gives the paralegals at the conference a chance to almost have a chat with people.
What
to
I
ask them
loved
questions.
most about it was that we had a kind of really young career person on, didn't we? Like
Yes.
Recently qualified, trying to sort of find their way in the IP paralegal world in actually quite a different world
Oh,
to
completely.
where most paralegal staff. So this was someone that's in academia and working very much in the area of research and working there. And it was absolutely fascinating to hear that perspective on how, this is a qualification that means something to me.
Yeah.
I'm not doing sort of like the normal work that a IP paralegal would do, but this kind of really makes a difference for me.
Yeah, definitely. And I don't think that it's just paralegals that take it. You know, he was a prime example. Cale, his name is. He works in industry, and it just shows that the paralegal qualification that's offered by CIPA is not just for paralegals.
Where we go with the advanced stuff? What can people expect on the horizon?
Is this the secret exam you mentioned?
The secret one.
So this is the exam that Dora prevents me from saying that there will ever be a launch date for.
It will be launched.
What's the planning? What's the idea behind it?
So the plan is to have everything ready by next year. So I know that we've been promising this for a very, very long time, but it's coming along very nicely. So we've got groups working on the materials already. We've got another group of people working on the examination. So as the person who oversees it, I can confidently say that it's coming along very nicely, closer than ever been. And we are hoping to get something more formal out to the membership next year.
And what will it bring beyond the existing exams? What's the kind of the addition, the added value?
So this is for more senior paralegals. This is for people who have been in the profession for over 5 and 15 years. This is just something that we've been working on for a very long time. And Annemarie is actually in one of the working groups developing the course materials. I don't know if you
Nicely thrown ball there. Well done.
Not that today.
It's aimed, as Dora says, at senior paralegals. I believe that one of the criteria to be able to take the advanced exam will be that you will have had to have taken the IPPC and passed it, or the previous iteration of the course that was available a long time ago, which is the one that I did.
So is my understanding right that it's modular? So it's not
Yes.
like taking a course; it's taking a series of modules.
It is modular there, but there are 4 core modules, and at the moment they're what we are working on to be able to offer the exam, hopefully next year. So there are core modules for GBs, PCTs, EPs, and ethics. So they're the 4 core modules. They're in process at the moment, and they're just more advanced subjects, going into a bit more detail about things that can go wrong on patents, things you need to be looking out for, more involved procedures. And then once that core section of the course is available, then the work will begin on additional modules, and then people can choose if they want to take other modules. So there will be one on SPCs, there's one on assignments. Can't think what the other ones are at the moment to put me on the spot.
It's high-end stuff, I like it.
Yeah, and as Dora said, it's really as close as it's ever been. People are really working really hard behind the scenes, and if any of them are listening to this podcast, I would just like to offer a real big major thanks to everybody that has been working hard on it, because they're doing it on top of their normal everyday job as well.
Thank you. That's coming from me as well. Thank you.
Yeah,
You've been brilliant.
But it doesn't stop at qualification, does it? Either the initial qualification or a more advanced qualification. You're really keen on paralegals doing CPD.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you tell us a bit about what that?
Well, continuing professional development, although we're changing to continuing professional competence, which is
It's a lower barrier. Don't get worse.
Yeah. Please stay about the same.
Sounds fair.
It's very similar. You're still going to find something that you're interested in learning about or continue your knowledge about,
So I think what you mean by continuing professional competence is that you determine what you need to do.
Yes, and it should be more relevant to your job rather than saying, well, I'm going to read the journal.
It's always been very artificial. Actually making it relevant is a great idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, go and find something that you actually
Otherwise,
think...
people would just listen to podcasts, couldn't they? And,
No, I'm developing all the time. Well, I'm remaining competent anyway. There we go. I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
So, as somebody who's spent my career working with paralegals and everything else, one thing I'm seeing more and more is the interaction between the paralegal directly with the client.
Yes.
And I think that's something that's really important. Is that something that you're kind of working on and working with the team to kind of build?
I think the paralegals have just always, well, certainly when in the company that I work for now, and even the one that I worked for before that we won't mention, the paralegals were always quite autonomous, which means that then they get that client contact, and I think that the clients really value the knowledge that the paralegals have for their cases and the quick turnaround as well. And patent attorneys are busy and they can't do everything.
Half the time we don't know the answer. Let's not forget that.
half the time.
Okay. It's fractions. One more.
Yeah, quick on.
May I ask about your directorial role? That sounds very exciting. What's that? What dimension has that brought to it? Power. It's about the power, isn't it?
Doesn't it corrupt? Doesn't power corrupt?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It just means that I have more of a I mean, to be fair, I think that everybody in my company has a voice. Mm-hmm. And I think that everybody in my company is, if they've got a valid thought or idea, that our company will take it on board anyway. That doesn't matter whether you are in the accounts department, whether you're in the renewals department, whether you're a senior partner or whether you're a paralegal. I think that they do genuinely listen to everybody's ideas. Mm-hmm. But what it means is that I'm then in part of that decision process.
Yeah. And bringing the voice from that group as well, which is important.
And then things just like managing the department, helping career progression for paralegals. Yeah.
Well, Lisa from our firm is very jealous. So
I know.
Yeah.
And she bent your ear.
I know as well. Yeah.
Yeah, she had the chance to get in there earlier. So Annemarie, one of the things that I'm quite really interested in is the concept of IP paralegal as a discrete profession. And I know you're doing some stuff on the committee that kind of helps. You talk about elections to the committee, and elections to the officer role. Can we expect to see a breakaway profession in the future? Are you going to be bold and strike out and be IP paralegals on your own, or are you always going to be part of the super family? Please be part of the super family.
I think we'll always be part of the super family.
Yeah, you should.
I've got a quick question.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the interaction between private practice and the paralegal side of things. It'd be really interesting to hear about what industry and paralegals
If only we had someone who was
just
talk
from
about
industry who was possibly in the room who could chat about interacting with Oh, hang on. Ellie, come on over.
Ellie, who are you and why are you here?
Hello. I was here for another podcast episode, but nice to be back on the show.
Talk us through kind of how the paralegals work. Are they supporting the CIPA programme? How's it work at IBM?
I know that Sue Callan, for example, she's the head of our paralegals team. She's very involved with a lot of the new sorts of qualifications and all of the new things that are happening with CIPA and the paralegals team. I know they are also very keen on it, so that's a good sign. But yeah, I mean, you should have them on as guests. And
We should, yeah.
Get them in next time.
Yeah. So that's his fault. Yeah, I'll moan at him later.
Well,
we should think about these things properly.
I know, it's pathetic.
Get proper
isn't it?
guests on.
I just failed. And as a patent attorney, are you in awe of paralegals? Because it's a remarkable set of skills, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't do what my paralegals do. I don't think I can work without them, of course. But no, honestly, they have to juggle so much more than we do, I think. I know that, obviously we have to have substantive knowledge, but without the paralegals' help, it just doesn't work. So shout out to Nikki and Caroline.
Boom, boom. Back to you, Lee.
Thank you, mate. Thank you so much for Annemarie for spending your time with us, and Dora. and Ellie for coming back on. I bet you wish you'd like nipped off before having another Guinness. But no, thank you for sharing. But there's like a little thing we do at the end of a podcast where we just come up with a tangential question. Yeah, sort of like something kind of remotely connected. So, and I've got one.
That's because I got one back up.
Yeah. And sorry, Ellie and Dora, you're now in this gang, so you need to answer this. But it always goes to Gwilym first, and that gives me enough time for it to go around the table and come back to me. Not that I ever expect me to be asked again, but that's always the surprise at the end. So Gwilym, at CIPA we've done something quite special. So we've taken what was previously patent administration and kind of a loose conference, sort of qualification stuff, and we've kind of melded it all together and created this discrete professional identity. Is there anything in your life that you do whereby you might think it would be really nice if that were a profession or a body or a group of people who came together regularly to discuss and meet and talk about stuff? So what would be your new profession?
I haven't got a silly answer. I've got a sensible answer.
You've always got a sensible answer.
No.
And you're always so quick. You're so quick-witted that sometimes it scares me.
The last one was shoelaces. It wasn't like
Yeah, your last one was shoelaces.
I just looked at my feet and thought that'll do. No, it's around being a parent. It's quite grown up, isn't it? Yeah, sensible. It is actually. I do think we should professionalise being parents.
Professional
It
parents.
is the biggest responsibility that a human ever has.
Professor, mum and dad.
And you make it up as you go along. I think we should have exams on parenting. I think we should have continuing at least competence and ideally development on parenting as well. It's incredibly important. Ideally at the end of it you would also have a qualification as a chartered parent, for example, or parent HD, anything like that, something to show that you've actually been through the qualifications, then, and only then, have a kid.
I think I've genuinely just given you a soapbox. you really wanted to get out of here. Is it worth asking anyone else after that?
Don't know where that came from.
I can't follow that.
So, yeah, you've created a profession, so Annemarie, you probably don't need to answer the question, unless you've got anything you would want to add to that.
No, I can't top that, professional parents.
Dora, what about you?
I've been so many things before.
You've been so many things before.
Yeah. Just have a look at my CV. you probably have seen it.
Why would I do that? Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. That's a tough question.
Yeah, it's a tough question.
Can we come back to me?
Yeah.
I think Gwilym's answer inspired me. So over the last week, we've adopted a new kitten that's been roaming in our garden. So
That's called stealing.
taking it to the vet and talking to all these rescue shelter people. Apparently, there's a lot of people who are just not very nice to animals.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like there should be at least some little bar for owning pets.
I do have one.
Dora.
Oh,
she's in. Dora.
Membership Association for Nerds. No one would
Nerds?
For nerds.
join. Yeah, no one would join.
I'm in.
Can I
I'm
join?
in.
Yeah.
The two physicists.
We've got a chief exec, a chief finance officer, and a nerd. Oh, you're looking at me. Yeah, so I have like a kind of a really odd little hobby where I make walking sticks. I don't know if some of you have seen them because I kind of use them as a prop when I do like public speaking and stuff like that. But yeah, I make my own, and there's only ever been me and the person who taught me that I know of, and I would like to get like a little club together of people who will happily walk in a forest and find branches and dry them and steam them and straighten them and carve them and then find unique little things to put on top that mean something to the individual.
Who taught you that?
Oh, so
Very Jedi.
so we were quite a poor family when I was younger, and we would always go to the same
We had to
place.
steam our own stick.
We always went to the same place for our holiday. We always went to Abbotsbury, which had a swannery, and we would go down to the swannery and we were like, loved the swans. On the way back, there was a little farm shop place that's now quite large and it's now kind of like a proper exhibity thing and stuff like that. But back then, there was always like a sad old man who was sat outside his little cabin carving walking sticks. And my holiday was always like letting the family go back to the caravan, and I would stay with this old man while he carved his walking sticks. And I was hooked.
So you sat with the old guy
Yeah.
and learned to make walking
Yeah.
sticks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of...
Yeah. Man, that's what I would do. Yeah.
I professionalise that.
Yeah.
What you might find now is that you've said that on here, you might have loads of people that will contact you now and say, I make walking sticks as well.
Oh yeah, no, there are loads of them about, but I like to think we're a small select group of people that
Would you let
are
them in?
amorphous.
Hang on, you wouldn't let them in, would you?
No.
Exclusive, they can't come in.
Not
They're not professional.
Annemarie, thank you so much for joining us for the podcast. Dora, Ellie, thank you for being dragged in by Gwilym at kind of random moments. Mate, I will see you on the next one if you're going to hang around.
14 minutes.
14 minutes.